Today we're going to talk about the safety and potential legality of driving with a low vision or a vision condition. In the U.S., we equate driving with independence in many cases, especially if you're in a more rural area. And a low vision diagnosis can often lead to your driver's license being revoked or you needing to retest to retain your driver's license.
Can someone who has low vision drive a car?
There's two considerations to driving with vision loss, with low vision. And I always go back to the fact that somebody, when I was 16 years old, thought it was okay that I should have a driver's license. And that, in retrospect, is rather terrifying. But when it comes down to it, there are laws, and we need to obey those laws. The legality of driving is not the same thing as the safety of driving, because if somebody was concerned with safety, they never would have given me and my angry, neurotic 16-year-old self a driver's license. But legality is legality, and safety is safety. So let's talk a little bit about legality. So most states have laws that are stated in such a way where they have visual acuity requirements and they have visual field requirements. Now those numbers are very much a line drawn in the sand. And the reason I say they're drawn in the sand is because of the vast difference from state to state and what they consider legal. So while the state of New York currently requires 140 degrees of unobstructed horizontal visual field, the state of New Jersey has absolutely no requirements for visual field. Now, both of those states do have requirements for visual acuity. Visual acuity requirements are easier to overcome than visual field requirements. And once again, neither of those requirements are particularly correlated to safety. But if you do have a visual acuity issue, a lot of times, a lot of states will allow what's called a bioptic. And what a bioptic does is magnifies things, and you would wear it, it would be up above your main field of view. And if you need to see detail, read a street sign, that kind of thing, you would tip your head down, look into the magnifier, see what you need to see, and then when you come back out, you have the rest of your vision available to you. Visual field, on the other hand, is a little bit more complicated. So at Chadwick Optical, we do a lot with homonymous hemianopia, which is a condition that exists post-stroke for about 1 in 3 patients for some period of time. Now, what happens when you have homonymous hemianopia is where your field, where it's typically 180 degrees, gets cut in half like this. So it gets cut in half right down the middle. So you go from seeing 180 degrees to seeing 90 degrees. But that 90 degrees is from the very center all the way over to one side or all the way over to the other side. Now, the question I always ask is 90 like this as safe as 90 like this? I would feel a lot safer if somebody had 90 like this than if they had 90 like this. The reason being that they can see both sides versus being completely unaware of one side.
Are there things to consider if I am legally allowed to drive?
So if you are legally allowed to drive, depending on what state you're in, depending on anything, I would recommend maybe even going through driver's training again. The reason being is that the world is different now than it was when you probably got your driver's license. And when I say the world is different, I don't mean that in some kind of like societal way. I mean it more that your perception of the world is significantly different than it was probably when you got your driver's license. So if you have homonymous hemianopia, for instance, and you want to drive, you really need to kind of start fresh and learn back from the basics how you're going to be safe in driving. One of the things that's easy to consider is that when you're driving, so when you're a fully sighted person, you have about 180 to 190 degrees of visual field. And when you're looking in a car out the windshield, you have full awareness of the world around you with the exception of the two kind of blind spots behind your car. Now you have a rear view mirror, you have the side view mirror, so between all of those you get a view of probably over 300 degrees. Now if you chop your vision in half or you have it severely reduced, you might not have that mirror in your sight anymore. You might not have the rear view mirror, you might not have the side view mirror. So that's vision that you formerly had access to that now you don't. And what I tell people with that is if you do want to widen your field of view, what you need to do is have mirrors in your field of view. So wherever it is that you can see, you would need something in your vision that would create awareness of where you can't see. So whether you're legal or not, expanding your awareness is going to be incredibly important with field loss. And for acuity, like I said, the bioptic is a great tool for that, is for increasing your ability to read signs and that sort of thing. So that's driving, and safety is absolutely paramount whether or not you are legal. You really, really want to be safe because you are driving a thing that's several thousand pounds and you're potentially driving it quite fast.